Tyler Bryant
and the Shakedown.
You're watching Loud TV.
So you've had a lot of success, obviously starting at a very early age. You're kind of known for that. And even older musicians have really kind of struggled with like the business side of things and how difficult that is. What kind of obstacles have you overcome, even at such an early age, and what have you learned from that?
What obstacles have we overcome? Oh man, hotels not having the reservation. Okay. We've run out of gas. We've had as many flat tires as you could imagine.
Oh, really?
Being double booked at venues. You know, I mean, all kinds of things. Anything that you could imagine.
Anything on the business side of things?
On the businesses, yeah. I mean, we've had records put on the shelf from record labels. We've had, you know, people steal money from us. We've had anything that you could imagine. But it's all part of it. You know, you get in there, you take every experience, you learn from every experience. You make sure there's fuel in the tank. You know, however you want to think of that, and you keep moving. That's what rock and roll is about. Yep. And
definitely,
you know, that's what we are hell bent on doing.
And you build a solid team that you trust around you, make them your family, and you go.
Yeah, I think the music business gets squirrely whenever you treat it like 100% business and you don't surround yourself with people that you would actually trust to be friends with. I think that's whenever things really work, is when you have people who are looking out for your best interest as you would look out for it.
Right.
So anyways.
You guys feel like you have that now? That's what you...
Yeah, it's a constant mission,
right?
You know, because people change, people's incentives and motives, and you know, you just got to keep making sure everyone's on the up and up and working towards the same goal.
Okay, all right. And I think just close here. So here at Hellfest, obviously the music that you played is very different from a lot of the groups that are here currently. What kind of reception did you receive when you guys got out there?
We had a great show. I mean, of course, we're very aware that we're kind of like the
outlier,
the red-haired stepchild on this festival. But we've spent so long over the last few years building up a loyal fan base in France that as soon as I walked out and saw like Shakedown fans in the front singing along, it was like, okay, we're good. We have an opportunity, and now we got to take it. And I don't think it really matters, because we approached the show with the same mentality that all these metal acts are approaching it with.
And
you know,
I also think that, like, you know, even a band like Guns N' Roses who's playing, or who do they play already? Or
I don't know, dude. Literally every band in the world
tomorrow. Yeah, there's a bunch of bands, but like even a band like Guns N' Roses is very blues based at the end of the day.
Sure.
So you know. We definitely, it is different than a lot of the bands for the most part, but we feel like, at least I think we feel like our energy fits, and we're able to have a positive exchange with the crowd, you know?
Yeah. Okay, well, speaking of that, of the groups that are here, are there any groups here that you guys in particular have drawn inspiration from? Or any of your idols here?
Oh man, well, I mean, we played right after Phil Campbell, you know? Talk about setting the bar. He played Ace of Spades, and then we had to walk on stage. That was
it's true.
So sick. There's so many bands that we look forward to hearing. I can't wait to hear Wadruna tonight.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, that's one of our favorites.
Steve Vai's here. He's like a guitar icon. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But like when I look at the lineup, it's pretty far out to imagine all of the bands that are on this bill. Yeah, we're grateful to be part of it.
So where else are you drawing inspirations from? Obviously, outside of these groups that we're seeing right here, who are you listening to now? What drives you to make the music you're making right now?
I mean, to be completely honest with you, the music I've been listening to is because we spend so much of our time playing rock and roll music.
Yeah.
I've been listening to like classic country music, and I really love listening to that. I love listening to Guy Clark and Townes Van Zandt and George Jones, and that's what I've been really inspired by. What about you guys?
I've been listening to a lot of like jazz and hip hop. I'm kind of like Tyler. I like to get out of kind of what we always live in. Of course, I listen to rock and roll and have all the records and do the thing, and there's time for that. ELO and, you know, the old school stuff that my wife also loves. But also to I call it cleansing the palate, and like putting on some Coltrane or listening to you know, some or like soul, you know,
funk, soul,
yeah,
too.
Yeah,
Same.
Commodores, or whatever.
Sonic. also is a great band.
Oh yeah, so
Well, dude, but
Bruno.
the thing about like being an outlier on a festival like this is like we have such deep respect for blues and the history of early rock and roll, and you got to think about it like a domino effect. It's like the blues then led to like Chuck Berry and the Beatles, and this thing started growing and getting more like angry and evil over time, and it's kind of awesome because this whole thing wouldn't happen if it didn't start with that. And so it's cool to be a band on a festival like this, tipping our hat in our own way, to where it started for us.
Sure.